Have you ever experienced back or hip pain? How about really bad neck and shoulder issues? Just about all of us living in a human body have found at times where we end up in terrible pain, and it can be so debilitating. How do you get yourself out of pain? Well, of course, you probably try some of the most common things, taking Tylenol or some time of anti-inflammatory, maybe go to your chiropractor or a physician, get an adjustment, put the back in, maybe a muscle relaxer, right? And all those things can definitely be helpful to get us out of pain. But the question is, number one, what brought us into pain? And number two, what are some other wonderful ways to really help us work with the body when we get into pain? And I'm sharing this with you today because just last week I had something emotional happen. It was kind of a big emotional hit. I took it in, and almost instantly I found that I moved a certain way and pulled my back out. And I had terrible pain on my left side. It radiated around my hip and into the front of my body. It was terrible pain. So I did what we all do, right? I went to the chiropractor to get it. I got down on the floor. I did a little bit of movement. And then I had to really recognize that there was an emotional component to what just happened. And I needed to find it and start to work through that emotional pain that I was feeling and the stress of it. So I have a beautiful, energetic healing software system that I'm using now to get just amazing results with my clients and with myself. I use that. I got connected to what it was that was happening. I released it using the system in my own aura and energy field. But then I also got down on the floor and started to use these slow, beautiful somatic movements to really unlock and heal long term. Then I did a class this morning with my clients where I really showcased and showed exactly what I was doing in order to release. And it was such a powerful class. And everybody was like, wow, we want this recording because we can always go back and learn when we're in pain. How do you work with the body? So I thought, wow, it was so powerful. I'd love to share it with you. So even if you're not in pain now, it's a beautiful somatic class. Get on the floor. It's all done on the floor, and learn how to work with your body to release the pain and the tensions. Learn how you can work with your body. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please go down, click subscribe to my channel so you get notification when I have more of these wonderfully healing videos. Take good care, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, you guys, so just taking a few seconds to roll on down. I gotta be gentle and careful today with the roll down even. And you can just let your legs come down, arms down low, the palms up, and just take a few seconds to really relax in your body. Allow yourself to just sink down, start breathing. Should feel really nice. And then what I'm going to do to start the class is we are going to do our nice breathing breath where we start with our 4 in, 4 hold. 4 out, and then on each repetition, we expand it till we get to the 8 out, doubling the exhale. And the reason that that's so nice is the more that you can expand that slow exhale, it will just start to shift your nervous system down into more of a parasympathetic, relaxed standpoint. And that way it gives the brain a chance to really relax in so that the moves that we start to do really work. You can process them. We'll start with arch and flatten, and then we will come over into a seated position and start doing some more somatic releases and just some breathing. So just letting you know where we're starting. So just go ahead, as I said, sinking down into your body. I know we're kind of, for some of us, in the middle of our day. So if you can, just kind of put all the to-do list out the door, just for a little bit of time. You'll pick it right back up. Guarantee it's not going anywhere when you're done. And let's start. I'm going to go right into the breathing. So let's just begin breathing in through our nose to the count of 4. So here we go. Inhale. And at the top, just hold your breath. And a slow exhale to the count of 4. So you can either exhale through your mouth or nose, whatever works best for you. We're going to hold it out for a few seconds at the bottom. And then let's inhale again, count to 4. Holding at the top. And exhale to the count of 5. Relaxing on the exhale and pausing at the bottom. And let's do another inhale for 4. Hold. Exhale for 6. Holding at the bottom. Inhale again for 4. Pause. Exhaling for 7. Really starting to feel the relaxation. Inhaling for 4. Holding your breath at the top. Exhaling now for 8. Sinking deeper. Relaxing all your joints. And let's just do 2 more repetitions like that. Inhale for 4. Holding. Slow exhale for 8. And one last one. Inhale for 4. Hold. And exhale for that slow 8. Just noticing that you've now really calmed the nervous system. Hopefully some of the brain waves are calmed down with it. Just take a few seconds yourself, maybe wiggling some parts around if you want to just kind of stretch a little bit and just get a sense of where your body is right now, where you're feeling tension. Maybe do a nice inhale, a little bit of just stretching, feeling your own body. Beautiful. And now we're going to start with some arch, flatten, and curl. So I'm going to go ahead and bend my knees. I needed this today before getting into the seated position. So just check out where your back and your body is. So feet are hip width. I'm going to have my arms out low V. So when we do this first part of the arch and flatten, I'm going to keep my arms down here. And I want you, I'm saying this because I find I need it. When I do go into the arch, the first one I might not press my heels in and up, but on the second one I will. And I'm thinking if I arch, like when I'm standing, right, to do a big arch, what do? Our shoulders roll back and our chin lifts, right? So that's how we engage every muscle in the back. And then we'll come slow to neutral, relax. When we flatten, we curl and we hug in, right? So you can almost think of that as like the cap or the cow, right? So you're curling under and tucking. So thinking about that as we do it on the floor. So let's begin with that nice deep inhale in, letting that back arch down, shoulders roll out, chin lifts slightly. So the whole back engages. So I can tell as I'm pressing my sacrum down, I feel where the pain is in my back. Slowly, so I'm going to go out of it, so I don't go into it. I just feel where it's starting to be tight. Slow exhale to neutral. And then in that beautiful relaxation, I'm just going to let everything go. Now we're going to go into the flatten. So on this one, you inhale first. And then exhale, I'm going to flatten the back, roll my shoulders forward, chin tucks. And just notice what you might be feeling there. And then in your own breath, in your own time, just bring everything back to a neutral place. Let it all go. Now I'm going to, on this next one, I'm going to increase the feeling a little bit with the press, gentle press of my heels. So let's inhale, arch. Shoulders roll back, chin tucks. I'm gently pressing my heels in the ground and up towards the body just a little bit. Like I'm not moving, but just that little additional will give you a little bit more sensation down there. And then slowly bring everything back to a neutral place. Let it all go. And then when we go into our flatten, you can again inhale, exhale, flatten, curling the shoulders, chin tucks. And now the heels can press in and gently away. So you just get a little bit more, I'm going to call it information or sensation to the brain. And then slowly release it all back. And let it go. On this next one, I'm going to go ahead and put my hands behind my head, fingers just gently hugging right around the occiput, elbows. Just you might want to notice first where the elbows are towards the floor, how you're feeling up in those shoulders. On this one, as I inhale and arch, I'm going to allow my knees to drop out to the sides. So inhale, arch. And as you do, the knees slowly open, elbows press in the ground gently, chin lifts. So now you're really expanding, opening up in the whole back body. Notice what you feel. Slow back to neutral as you slowly bring the knees up. Notice if there's chatter when you bring those knees up, what you might be feeling, groin, inner thigh. And then just completely relax in that neutral place. Nice. Now we're going to do the flatten with the elbows up in the lift. You ready? So inhale first. Exhale, flattening the back. You can use the heels, elbows hug, chin tips to let the head lift. Drop that head into your hands, lengthening the neck. As you slowly just let the back come to neutral, head drops, and then just let those elbows slowly open up to the sides and relax. Nice. Now we're going to do that slightly faster. Notice if you feel it any differently each time. So here we go one more time. Inhale, arch. Let the knees drop open, elbows press down gently into the ground, chin lifts. Notice how that feels. This second time, slow, back to neutral. You feeling anything in the inner thighs, groin as you do that? All the way up, relax, inhale. Exhale, flatten the hug, tip the chin, lifting. Might again want to press the heels in and away a little bit and slowly drop. As you drop the head, remember to bring the back to neutral, fingertips touch and open those elbows and just relax there. Noticing now how you're feeling. I'm going to take the hands out from behind my head. I'm going to bring those knees up for our first nice little rock. Hands on those knees and just give yourself a nice little rock back and forth and maybe in a circle. So maybe notice what you might be feeling up in the top of the hips. So good, you guys, nice. Then let's go ahead and release that inner thigh knee. You might have found some tension in there. So I'm going to bring my knees in a little bit, open the knees to almost the outside of my shoulders. Then I'm going to slowly let those knees drop out until my arms are straight.
Then I'm just going to relax and let those knees open to wherever they're ready to open to, hands on my rib cage. So the shoulders are relaxed there, hands are relaxed. Just allow the weight of those knees opening. Feel what you feel in your inner thigh groin. Now this might be enough tension for you, and you can just stay here and allow that weight, or you can open the lower legs if you want just a little bit more. That can be challenging. You can flex the foot, reaching out through those heels. Where are you feeling that? Like I'm getting that way up in that top groin. It's probably also part of what's holding my hip. Good. Now, turn the knees, internally rotate at the thighs, and slowly bring those legs straight up. You might have a lot of shaking. And notice where the shaking is. Woo, mine are like really bouncing. And bring them up. Then you can point the toes, externally rotate the thigh bones. Now feel those thigh bones externally rotating. Doesn't matter if your legs are straight, that's fine. Just shows that you're tight in the hamstrings. Slowly let those legs come back out. Relax at the bottom. Good work. And now go ahead and bend the lower legs down where you were before. Drop the feet in front. You can bring them a little in front of you, wherever they need to be, and then just think, relax. And notice as you relax, the lower back lifts in order to let that happen, feeling the inner thigh. You can put your hands in there. I always say I like to do that because I can really feel where those tension places are. So this is the places that are restricting us from opening and being comfortable in there. So now we're going to do a nice pandiculation. So I'm going to slowly lift my knees back up. The feet will be flat. They'll be pretty close. I'm going to bring my hands on the inside of those legs, creating a slight amount of resistance, hand against leg, and slowly allow those legs to open out to the sides. So go really slowly. You might find a lot of choppiness, which just shows where the brain has gone offline, lost control. Slow it down even more. And make sure you take it all the way to the bottom. And then once you're as far as not going to go anymore, relax and release. And notice like my legs came a little in front of me to release that. Good. I'm going to bring my hands in there. And well, I got just a little bit of release. So I'm going to do it one more time there. So it's already a little in front of me. Bringing the legs back up. Hands inside. Let's pandiculate one more time. Just creating some resistance there. I find this is just a really good one. Slowing it down. Opening it up all the way. And completely relax and release. And just notice now what you're feeling in there. Might automatically feel, wow, it's already a little bit looser. Now draw your legs in front of you just a little bit more. Once you're there, then pause, relax, and notice if you put your hands back up there that the big tension's moved a little bit more towards the outside of the leg. So this is also opening in the hip flexors. The outside hip rotators. Bring the legs back up again. Now, you may not have enough arm length to get down there, so even just opening it is fine, slowly, but I'm going to put my hands, I can still reach, and give it a little bit of resistance as I open in that place. And just resist, slowing it down. As you open, noticing what you're feeling, all the way to the bottom, and completely relax. Should feel much looser now. And then you can just go ahead and allow those legs to straighten out in front of you, completely relax there. Notice what you're feeling now up in the top of the groin. So we probably did a lot of releasing up in those hip flexors. You might feel a little bit more loose there, which will be really nice. Beautiful. I'm just going to give it a couple seconds here for the brain to process that. And then I'm going to bend my knees again. So lifting and dropping. Nice work. All right, so now we're going to coordinate, I have kind of pulled something out of my hip. I was thinking it was my back, but really it was more my hips, some muscles, hip flexors. So what's interesting about that is, while we think it's in the hip, and I think it is, it's also coordinated with the shoulder, right? So your shoulders are actually like your upper hips, and your hips are like your lower shoulders. It's all connected. And this is a beautiful way to feel that and release any place that you might be holding if that's where you tend to have pain. So arms are out at a low V, palms up. This is an interesting one I've been doing recently. So just see what you might discover with this one. So I'm just going to take my head, I'm on like that bottom part of my skull, and I'm going to just turn my head over to the right. And then once I'm there, I'm going to gently press my head into the ground, just gently, just to give a little more information. And then I'm going to press my right heel in the ground to slowly lift my right hip up just a little bit. I can't go far because then I feel it in my left hip, which is where my pain is. Good work. And then I'm going to slowly drop that hip and let my head go all the way back to the center and relax. So let's go again. We're going to roll our head to the right, gently press it in the ground, press that right heel in the ground, lift the right hip. Again, if it's in pain, only take it to right before the pain. Now I'm going to add on my right shoulder. So I'm going to gently press my right shoulder in the ground, and I'm going to start to slide that shoulder blade over towards the spine. So just notice, and now we're increasing the information, shoulder, hip, head, and roll all the way back to the center and relax. Beautiful. Notice what you might be feeling here. Let's go again. Rolling the head over to the right. Now, I'm going to do the hip and the shoulder at the same time. So I'm going to press my right heel in, lift the right shoulder, lifting the hip, shoulder. And now with my right shoulder, I'm going to take it across, and I'm going to press that shoulder down towards the hip a little bit. Notice what you might be feeling there, maybe in the lat, a little bit of pressure. And then bring everything back and relax. Now, the last thing I want to do on this one in this way is, when I press my shoulder down and press my shoulder blade over, I'm going to press it over, and then I'm going to try and take it over towards my opposite hip. Just see what you might feel that way. So again, I'm going to roll my head to the right, gently press it in the ground, press my right heel in the ground, lift the right hip. Shoulder, right shoulder presses in and over, and then I'm going to kind of think about, how do I get it over towards the other hip? What might you feel there? And then slowly bring everything back and relax. Boy, I'm getting some releases here. Now, last part of this is, now I'm going to roll my head to the left. So roll your head the other way, gently press it in. Now, press your right heel in the ground, lift the right hip, right shoulder presses in, and wherever you want to take it, just kind of explore. I'm just kind of taking it down towards that right hip, and boy, do I feel a connection there. And then slowly bring everything back. Sorry, you guys, I just keep releasing that frozen breath, which is just releasing everything. So you might hear that and just let it all go. So interesting. Now I'm getting a ton of tingling going on, even down through my feet. I'm going to go ahead and bring both knees up. I'm going to do a little rock here in between going to the other side. So these are just beautiful explorations, giving us an idea of where we're holding tensions that we may not even be aware of, and how they all connect in the body. And then just drop the legs back again, arms low V. And let's go to the other side. So now I'm going to roll my head to the left, gently press it in the ground, press the left heel in the ground, and lift the left hip again. Not to where you have pain. Oh, that releases release that hip. I love it. And slowly drop the hip and allow your head to roll all the way back and relax. So really check in that you've relaxed everything now. Let's go again. Rolling the head to the left, pressing that left heel, lifting the left hip. You'll feel the right kind of go down. Let's take the right left shoulder, same side shoulder, press in and over towards the spine. See what information you get there. And then slowly bring everything back and completely relax. Again, check in. Notice what you're feeling in the body. Ooh, I am tingling all over. All right, let's add on. So now go ahead, turn the head again to the left, gently press the head in the ground. I'm going to do hip and shoulder at the same time. So pressing left heel, lifting the hip, pressing that left shoulder gently in and down. And now I'm going to let my left shoulder kind of press down towards the left hip. And then slowly bring everything back and relax. Ooh, this is powerful. All right, this next time I'm going to bring my shoulder in and see if I can take that shoulder blade over towards the opposite hip. See what you get there. You ready? So turn the head first. Good, gently pressing. Lifting the left hip, left shoulder slides over and then down kind of towards the opposite hip. Interestingly, I got just a shoot right down my right side of my neck. And then all the way slow. Make sure you go slowly when you release all the way back. That slow release is really important. And now just really relax everything. All right, now let's go ahead. We'll turn the head to the right, but we're going to work left side. You ready? So lift the left hip, left shoulder slides in, and then just kind of take it to wherever your body wants you to take it to. Kind of explore in there. Got a bit of a crack there. That's interesting. And then bring everything back. And completely relax. Really nice, you guys. Beautiful work. All right, let's bring those knees up one more time. Little rocks. And just for interest's sake, let's just do bringing the legs in, opening, drawing them down like we did a minute ago. And just notice how you're feeling on those inner thighs and hips. Drop the leg in front, relax. Just notice so you feel a little less tight there and slowly let them just draw all the way down. Arms down, just take a couple seconds. Notice what all you're feeling. If you're feeling a lot of energy moving, effervescence, I'm just taking a minute just to allow the body to just get response to that. And then let's go ahead, bend one leg, roll yourself over and up, or you can rock if that feels like it would be good for you. And we're going to come up into a bit of a seated position. So go really slowly because we've been down there. Just get yourself, all right, thumbs up. How many of you are just feeling like a darn noodle? You just like, I am if you aren't. All right, so I'm going to do a hip release then. So I'm going to put myself in this position. I wanted to do this one because I did this before class today and was blown away by the release I felt in the place where I'm having pain. And I'd never really felt, to be really honest, a whole lot with this particular move. So see what you think. So this is a hip release. In this place, notice my leg is up against the other one, as long as you know it doesn't hurt your knee. Obviously, put something there. Then you're just going to have this hand over. So you're just really allowing yourself the weight to just be held here like a kickstand. And we're going to start working in the hips. So just starting with this front one, just go ahead, lift it to wherever it's ready to go. Notice where it is, what you're feeling.
Slowly drop it down. Notice what you're feeling. Nice. Now we're going to release it. So just lift it to wherever that is. Notice where it is. Hand on top, gentle pressure. Gentle pressure. Slowly drop it down. And again, I know I say this all the time because we got to always remember. Take it all the way to the bottom and then let it go and relax. Good. Let's take it up again. Lift it and start to just gently press. Notice what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. So we've done some work already in that hip, but you might still feel it and relax. Nice. And then lift it one more time. And press. Slow, slow, slow. In that beautiful release position. You guys are doing so beautifully. Looks great. And relax. Excellent. Now, shift back. Just notice how it feels. Be able to get it up a little higher. Just feeling it. And dropping it down, like a little bit more mobility. We're going to lock that in. It's called locking it in. Put your hand underneath. Just get gentle pressure up and down. So knee into that hand into the knee for just a second and release. Excellent. All right, now let's check the back one. So keeping a toe on the ground, you're just going to lift that back leg up. Try not to do it where you let the whole body. You don't want the whole body to go back. Just lift in the knee because this is going to be on this outside rotator. Again, we've done some work on it. Notice where it is. Then drop on down. Notice what you might be feeling. Excellent. And now lift it up again. And we're going to create resistance on the down. So resisting, resisting. If you get choppiness, slow it down even more. Make sure you resist all the way to the bottom. And relax. Excellent. And bring it back up again. And here we go. Just gentle resistance. Noticing. Releasing. And let it go. Good work. Sometimes you might have to come up off your kickstand for a minute. And back. And gentle resistance one more time. So even though we're doing it on that side, right, the body works as a whole, so it's working all the way through and completely relax. Beautiful. Now let's notice. Lift. Wow. Woo, I really got a lot more out of that one. You might be able to lift it a little higher and then relax. Again, reciprocal. It's called reciprocal integration. Down with the hand. So just press down on the knee, up with the hand, and that just is kind of a lock-in. And the last one that I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn just a little so you can see. Same positioning. Keep your big toe on the ground. We're going to work at the ankle. So if you just lift the ankle up, that's releasing that right in there at that knee. So just notice what that feels like. And a slow release and relax. And then take your two fingers, you can do it right here at the ankle. Just create a little resistance there. And release it. And then bring it back up again. I don't have knee issues, so I rarely feel anything with this. But if you do, I'd love some feedback, whether that seems to help. And relax there. Good. And then we can do the reciprocal with the heel and the foot. And just release it. Excellent. Now let's shift on back and just do a little side to side. So we released a little bit in that hip. See, wow, like I couldn't do this at all when I woke up this morning. I could not do this without pain right in that hip. So, you know, when you release, we release. And then, of course, you still get that inflammation in the area. But just knowing that, wow, that really release. So it's a great way to notice where you're holding. All right, let's go to the other side. Oh, now interesting. That's a bit of a challenge. I have to really make sure I'm over off of this hip because that's where my pain is. Good work, you guys. So again, noticing, let's lift this one up. Like I can't lift it very high. And drop it on down. Beautiful. And let's go ahead. So just lift it wherever it's ready to go to. Remember, you're on your kickstand, so there's no weight here. And then slow pressure. Just slow, 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 slow at the bottom. And then just completely relax as much as you can. Nice work, you guys. Lift up again. And here we go. Yep, gentle, gentle, gentle. All the way to the bottom and release. And one last time, and notice if you're feeling anything anywhere else in the body with this. And let it go. Nice. So that was 3 times. So, and you might want to shift back a little bit. Just notice. So I was able to get it up a little bit higher and just drop it down on the bottom. Just really relax it. Nice. And now let's go with this back one. So all your weight's kind of over here, so you can just lift. Again, try not to allow the whole torso and everything to drop back. It's really more specific in that hip lift. And then just drop it. Notice where you're at. Looks good, you guys. All right, so let's just lift it. Hand back here, slow release. Slow, 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 and let it go. So good. And coming back up. And press. Gentle, 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 gentle. And let it go. Yeah, last one. Lift it. And gentle, gentle, gentle. And completely relax. Nice work. Now just notice. Be able to get a little bit more out of it. And where do you feel it? Wow, I can go to there. That's pretty amazing. I sure couldn't have done that this morning. And all the way down. Nice. Let's reciprocal. Just give it a little press and a drop. Nice. And the heel, keeping the big toe down. Just lifting that heel up so you get a rotation on the lower leg. You might want to do one first. Just notice if you're feeling anything. And then I'm just going to give it a bit of press here a couple of times and relax it and bring it back up. And that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you're going like side to side, not one that you typically do to release in that knee. But of course, that's where that connection is. Good work and release. So from here, just bring that leg up. You might want to lean back a little and again, just a little side to side. So we'll get a little bit of integration in there. Notice how that's feeling. Great work, you guys. Well, and now I'm going to come up, just bringing the legs out into what we call that baby position with the arms there. Let's do a little bit of just a curl and a come up since we've been in a kind of a seated position. I'm going to put my hands here. Now you can definitely do a low V with the heels. I'm going to go out a little wider right now, using the hands here to pull up on your spine. Good. So an inhale into the belly. If you want to gently lift from the chin and up, that's beautiful. And then exhale, rolling back. But once you're back there, you can let the legs come up with you. Just holding yourself there, relaxing the shoulders. You can drop the chin in a little bit. Notice what that feels like. And then pull up. So just start to get a little bit of pelvis work. Beautiful. Inhale, exhale, dropping it on back. Good, I can't go far today, but that's okay. That's where we're at. And come on up. Beautiful. Now from here, I'm going to bring my knees in and straighten. How about if we do a little bit of hamstring release? Always a good thing. So let's just test first. So my legs are out in front. I'm going to hinge gently forward at my hips. In other words, I'm not rounding my back. I'm just going to hinge just to see what I'm feeling, where you're feeling it in those hamstrings. I can't go down very far. And then bring yourself up. So let's do some hamstring release. So notice here how, whether or not both of your heels are about level. So a lot of times if we're really holding more hamstring in one side than the other, you might notice that one leg is longer. So the hips are level, notice the length, and let's go ahead. We know this one. If you need a towel, use your towel. If not, use this. You know what, I'm gonna grab a towel actually. It'll be easier. I can't really go forward very much, so I'm gonna do this. Now also, here's another little interesting titty bitty as we go into this. If you do have a sore side, you want to end that with that one. So start with the first one first, because the brain remembers the last thing that it did. So you're just pulling up. You can lift the chin and then slowly releasing it on down. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. So just take it, the head drops at the same tempo, taking it down to wherever you can, and then just relax and release. Good. And coming back up and do it again. So we do it 3 times on each side. So I'm not going to be a great model today because, well, maybe I am in that I can feel like it's just not really comfortable for me, but I know hamstrings are always a good one for people, for all of us to release. So I'm just going to do a little bit. I'm going really slowly so that I don't come into my place of pain. Oh, good. I was able to go down a little bit further and I have to support myself on the up. And one last time. So pulling it up and bringing it on down. And letting it go. And I noticed that for myself, even though I wasn't able to really do a really long segment, I couldn't really go all the way, I got a good ½ inch maybe on that side. So here's the side that's challenging for me, and I might not feel it as much on this one. So pulling it up. So and here's something that I'm noticing as I'm doing this because I'm lifting my chin, I can feel that in my neck, which is engaging in that hip, right? Because it works together. So if you're having hip issues, I'll tell you what we're going to do in a sec. Go ahead, you guys go into your 3 releases. Like right there, I can feel it in my neck. That's really interesting. I'm not going to go any further. Yeah. So we're going to do foot sliders next. That'll be interesting, right? To release in that back of the neck. Ooh, I was able to get much further. Good, so you guys do 3, we need to do one more, probably one more, okay. Wow. I got all the way down there. That was really interesting. So for me, as I was doing that, that hip, I could feel it in the neck. So what had I said before, shoulders are really upper hips, hips are lower shoulders. There's such a correlation. So if you're having hip issues, don't forget work neck and shoulders. If this is really painful, work here. And so let's go into foot sliders. Love foot sliders. Let's try it first till you'll see, you get that felt sense of what we're doing first. So in order to do that, feet are here. Pull yourself up and you're just going to look back, dropping the head, noticing what you're feeling in the back of that neck and how high your eyeballs look. And then pull yourself back up. Good work. And then I'm just going to come on down. I always like to go diagonal just so you can see. Just relax the upper body back. You can hunch, just let it all relax. Feet are in though pretty close to your tail, hip width apart. And we're just going to slide that one leg out, keeping a bend in the knee. Don't go all the way straight. You're going to pivot on that heel, curling your toes. Uncurling the toes, drop.
Slide the foot all the way back in next to the other one. Keep the ball joints of the foot down. You're only lifting your toes and you're trying to spread them. And then drop those toes. Let's come back out again. All the way out, pivot. Curling the toes. Uncurling, drop. Sliding it back in. Lifting the toes, spreading them. Drop the toes. One more time, taking it out. Pivot, curling the toes, uncurling, drop, sliding it back in, pressing the ball joints, lifting the toes, and dropping them really nice. Let's go to the other side. So I saved this side for last. That's my second, the one that's challenging. Curl the toes, uncurl, drop, slide it back in, lift the toes, spread them, drop the toes. One more time, taking it out. And by the way, this move is such a great move. You can do it seated in your chair at the office. You can do it on the edge of your couch watching TV. It can be done anywhere. It's always amazing, and it always works. All right, so now I'm going to come back up and bring it in. Let's just test, see how much more you got. Oh my, really good. And now I'm going to just curl under a little bit and do a little bit of arch and flatten here, little cat and cow, and notice that there's so much more movement out of that. Give me a thumbs up, you guys. You feel that? So good, right? Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. All right. So from here, I'm thinking, let's do, as a really nice, almost one of the last flows for today, let's do our Lighthouse. Love the Lighthouse because, right, it's like such a beautiful full body release, okay? And it's going to work in this whole area. So that'll be interesting. Okay, I'm going to work that side. I wanted to start on the other side from the hip, but I want to end on that side. So we're going to start here. And on the Lighthouse again, you're just going to have your little kickstand here. Beautiful. I'm going to call this our top hip. Let's just test. When we test, we put our hand on our knee. And you're really over, thinking about a Lighthouse, and just lifting this hip. And you're going to allow that whole upper body to slowly turn. Again, you know, ad nauseum, right? Only go to where your body's ready to go. I could really stretch into a bigger rotation, but I'm not going to. Allow the head to just turn to wherever it's ready to go. No pain, no strain. Eyeballs looking so you see where you're at on this first one. And then come all the way back. So when we come back on these today, I want you to make sure you really drop that top hip back and even allow this shoulder to almost go back, almost past, so here would be like level, even back a little further. So I'm just going to rotate just slightly the other way. So feel what that feels like. Like I can feel that here in my lats on that side. All right, coming to neutral, we're going to start the movement now. So taking that hand on the shoulder, and you can let the elbow drop. I used to have it out, doesn't matter. You can keep it down. And let's go ahead, lift the hip, and we're just going to rotate around again. Just rotating around again, going slowly. Let the head rotate to where it's ready to go. Just notice what you're feeling the second time. And then slowly, in that slow release, we're going to come all the way back. Dropping that top hip, letting that shoulder roll back even a little bit further. And we're going to go right into the next one. Slowly come up and around again. So it's a little bit more flowy today. Allow that back arm to move as it needs to. Good. Now the hand that's on the ground, take that shoulder blade. See if you can connect and bring it over towards the spine. So you're engaging that side of the upper back. Notice when you engage the upper back, where else do you feel it? Then as you release, that upper back widens back out as you slowly come all the way back, dropping the top hip and allow that back shoulder to come back a little bit more. And let's go one more time, slowly up and around. Once you get to wherever you're ready to go, engage both sides if you can. Think about shoulder blades pulling in towards your spine.
So now the upper back is engaged. Can you feel that lower body as well? Lengthen. I say lengthen. It's really widen, right? Widen back across the shoulder blades. I'm trying to get that word right. But old habits die hard, don't they? Top hip drops, shoulder drops back. Excellent. Now we're going to do the same movement, head in opposition though, right? So this will take a little bit of mindfulness, and you can close your eyes. Let's close our eyes with this. See if that makes it more challenging or less. As you come up, you're going to flow as you take yourself back, but the head is rotating opposite. So your chin is looking over the front shoulder, engaging the upper back. Both shoulder blades slide in, feeling that engagement. Widen, I did it, across the shoulder blades. And as you're coming back, keep noticing that the head is still turning at the same tempo. Drop the top hip, shoulder back, head looking over the front. Just one more time, eyes closed. Come and flow the other way. Coming up and around. Head is looking over that front shoulder, engaging the upper back. Now, as soon as I do that, I feel that in the top of that front hip. See if you do. Widen and start to come all the way back. Going slowly so you can really feel, we engage and we disengage. On back, relax there. And now with your head, you can open eyes, obviously, come back, get the chin in alignment with that breastbone. So now I'm going to just put my thumb down here, right, kind of at my breast, fingers right there, just because as you go, you're going to keep the head, that chin right in alignment. Same movement though, lifting the hip, and let's come up and around. Good. Head stays right there. Boy, my head always wants to turn. Squeezing between the shoulder blades if you can. If that's too challenging, visualize it. And then lengthen or widen across the shoulder blades. As you come all the way back slowly, drop the top hip. You can let the hand go and relax. Let's come up off that back wrist. Oh, I realized that was a lot for poor Amy on her hand. Sorry, baby. All right, and shake it out. All right, you guys, so now let's just see how much did we get out of that. So back to the back, hand here, allow that hip to lift and come on around. And I mean, oh my goodness, I can see all the way to the side corner of the room and come back. Good. So you guys tell me, were you able to get a lot more rotation out of it, right? Beautiful. It's like, yay. So let's go to the other side now. Before you do, let's just do a little bit of rotation. So I'm just going to open both knees and then come over, open and over. It's just nice to do a little bit of integration between the two sides. Notice what you're feeling. Oh, I'm really releasing a lot in that hip. I'm still feeling it, but I'm releasing it. And let's go to the other side now. I'm going to take just a quick sip here. Starting to get dry from all the chattiness. All right, you guys, you ready? So hand here, hand on knee. And let's just lift that top hip and come around and over. And I'm going to have to do this one really slowly. Notice where you're at. And come all the way back. And again, remember, that top shoulder is going to overextend back just a little bit as that hip drops. And now hand here on your shoulder. And let's lift that hip. Coming around. Going slowly. Only go to where it's ready to go. The head can turn. And then let's slowly release all the way back. Allow the top hip to drop. Bringing that shoulder back a little bit further, and I'm going to flow right into it again. Slowly up and around. Good. Arm that's on the ground, see if you can just engage that side. Now here's what I'm finding, because that's my side. On that hip, as soon as I engage, I can really feel that pull in the top of that hip. Right? How interesting. maybe I'm not necessarily just holding from my hip, it's coming also from the shoulder, right? Let's go again, flowing back up and around. So again, any of you have hip issues, you'll see now how to really work with it. I was able to get a little further. Both shoulder blades engage in. Widen back across there as you come all the way back. Let's let that top hip drop back, shoulder drop back. Let's just go one more time. Flowing up. Now I'm using my mind to really relax in that hip, feeling it in the shoulder, squeezing the blades in towards the back, the spine, and releasing all the way back. This time, closed eyes, and let's go head in opposition. So as you come up and around, the head goes opposite. Wow, squeeze. Now what I'm finding really interesting is I don't feel as much pain when my head is opposite, squeezing between the blades. I do feel it in my neck though. And release and slowly bring everything back. Don't forget to bring the head. The head moves as well as you drop all the way back and that chin's looking over the front. And then let's just flow one more time, slowly back again. Up and around. Paying attention to what's happening for the whole movement. What's engaging, what's disengaging, what happens when you get up there, squeeze between the shoulder blades. So I'm feeling that up in my neck, but my hip doesn't hurt as much. So interesting. And all the way back. As I go all the way back, dropping that hip, head turns as well. And now I'm all the way back here. Good work. All right, now open your eyes, let the head come forward. Thumb at the breastbone, fingers underneath. Try not to lift the chin. Keep the chin level, just so you're not lifting the head up. And here we go, lifting up and around. And turning. If you can't squeeze the shoulder blades, notice what that's like. How that shifts it with when the head stays right in alignment. And then slowly come all the way back. And release, let the hand go. Nice, coming up off that back wrist a little bit. And then we'll test. See where you're at, you guys. So here we go, hand here, hand on knee. Up and around. Oh my goodness, that was great. Not quite as much pain, and all the way back around. Good work, you guys. Did you find that you got some good release out of that? Got a little bit more out of it? And then just shift around a little bit, see what your body needs after all of that. Oh yeah, in the hips, and that back, and the neck and shoulders. Maybe just see, I could do a little bit neck and shoulder, but it looks like it's pretty much time. So to end, what I'm going to do today, just to end this, is a bit of a butterfly stretch. Might as well, right? Bottoms of feet here. In. I'm going to put my hands around those ankles, pulling it in a little bit. So I'm going to hinge forward at the hips, elbows on there, and just tuck my chin down a little bit so I have some good length from the top back through the pelvis, and just come forward and just see where you're at with that. So once you get into that good position, you can always pull up with the fingers at the ankle, press down gently on the knees, and just see what you're feeling there in those hips. If you're a little bit more open in the hips. Excellent. Now I'm just going to let you guys kind of continue with that, stretching it out. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Know when you get up, like I'm going to do, I'm going to be here for a second. Just kind of relax into it, because you could feel a little bit kind of fragile. We really relax that nervous system. which should be really nice. So if you have something you need to do where you're using your mind, this is a great time because you're really down in your wisdom place. And support yourself on up. And I hope that that was helpful.